Welcome to Beyond the Riverwalk, the local weekly podcast that brings San Antonio's most remarkable people, places, and events directly to you. All links discussed will be in the show notes, so sit back, relax, and join Kevin and Melissa Barron as they ask the questions that you would. Now, let's get the conversation started.
Well, joining us today is Tony Villarreal. Tony is representing the Barbacoa and Big Red Festival here in San Antonio, and we're really thankful that he's joining us today to learn a little bit more about it. So thank you, Tony, for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, joining me is my wife, who is being quiet right now. Her name's Melissa. She's here as well, so she may have some questions. But I guess to kind of get things started, can you tell us a little bit about what is the festival and what's it looking like for this year?
Okay, yeah. So the festival is its 9th edition. It's not necessarily the 9th annual, but 9th edition because we started, I believe, in 2012. But it was such a popular event that people requested us to host it biannually, 2 times a year, and so we did. It started getting huge. We were expecting 300 people on the very first edition of it. And we ended up having about 1,500 show up. It was in the small parking lot of a bar on the north side of town near UTSA, and we pretty much ended up running out of barbacoa and Big Red and everything within an hour.
Wow!
And so everybody was like, "How are you going to throw a Barbacoa Big Red Festival and not have barbacoa or Big Red?"
And don't have either one. That's right.
Yeah.
So
and our answer was like, well, we weren't expecting the whole city to try to show up to this, We thought it was going to be a small event and on a Sunday during the day, we weren't expecting anything big. And it was a lot bigger than we thought. That's when we found out. We quickly learned that we had something big, something huge in our hands. So we did it again. The second time we did it, we grew to close to 3,000 people. And then third time it went to 3,500 and then 4,500. And then from there, the rest is history. So we ended up deciding to just do it once a year because the festival started getting so big that twice a year was not only a lot of work, but it was splitting our festival. We're getting 3,000-4,000 people at the beginning of the year in the spring. And then we would get another 4,000 or 5,000 in the fall. So we decided just to keep it on once a year. The reason we chose May is because there's not a lot of things going on in San Antonio. In May, Fiesta's already over by then. There's Memorial Day, Mother's Day weekend, which we don't compete with those. So we always do it that smack in between those two big holidays, right? So now fast forward to the 9th edition of the festival. And we never thought we would be where we're at, but this year we're expecting about 25,000 people, that might be a low number, but it's going to be the biggest one that we've had so far. We outgrew the first venue, the last venue that we had. We outgrew the first venue the first time we did it. Then we went to R&J Music Pavilion, which is in the south side of town. So it was a test to our marketing efforts and everything to see if it was a festival that we could pull off, not really being familiar with that side of town. And it turned out that we were very successful. And the last one, it was a 5-acre lot. We ended up having about 15,000 people out there that we could account for that bought tickets or paid at the gate. But children 12 and under are free, so we didn't count that in the 15,000 number that we provided. So we probably had close to 20. If not more. So this year we teamed up with Brooks City Base, or it's Brooks now, but formerly known as Brooks City Base, and now we went from a 5-acre lot to a 43-acre lot. We have a lot more parking now, and I mean all the complaints that we had that were beyond our control. For example, one of them was that we didn't have public transportation, so Via Bus didn't run out down deep in the south side. Outside of 410, right? And so now we have public transportation. In fact, we've been working with Brooks to have a big influence with the Via, the city, and they're actually building a transit center inside Brooks probably in walking distance to the entrance of our festival as we speak. That should be ready by May. So that's amazing news. We're closer to the city now. We're on a huge major street, which is Southwest Military, and intersection close to 37. So another big highway there, and then parking. Before last year, we had to literally beg neighbors around the property to let us park cars in their front yards.
You made a lot of friends that way, I'm sure.
Yeah, and they made a lot of money. And we told them, hey, you keep you keep the money. We're just begging you to please let us park cars here because our 5 acres that we have are completely gone. And the bar down there had a couple properties that were in front of the bar and all that, but those filled up within minutes. So there was a traffic jam going from the venue at R&J Music Pavilion all the way up to 410 and then all the way south to 1604. So no matter what direction you went in, you were stuck in traffic for 3 to 4 hours if you even made it in, So out of the 15,000 that we had, we probably lost maybe more than that by just people that just couldn't make it in. Right.
Wow.
So now I think we got all those problems resolved. So we got parking, we got public transportation, a lot bigger venue. We went from having 1 stage to 2 stages to 3, and this year we have 4 stages going on at once. And then to put the final touch on it, I guess, what's going to make it very exciting is that this is the first year that we book a major headliner. We've had Spasmatics, which are great and all that, but they play pretty much every single day during Fiesta. Anybody could see them quite regularly here in San Antonio. They're always either booked at a bar in town or special events, right? And we didn't want to kind of follow the same overplayed thing. We did it one time just to say we did, and then now we stepped it up and we locked in Kevin Fowler, which is a huge Texas country artist.
Yeah.
And he's going to be performing at our event. It's already posted on his website and our fan page, and we released a flyer, as a matter of fact, yesterday, stating that he's performing here. And the reason why we waited so long, even though we booked him way back in January, is because he had a benefit fundraising charity type of concert at the Rim at the Rustic, and his concerts always charge $25 and up, sometimes $40. And our event, I try to make it as affordable as possible for San Antonio because I'm not trying to get rich off of people. I want masses out there because the more people we have, the better it is for the festival, the better it is for the vendors. They sell a lot more food because there's a lot more people, and everybody's happy, right? So I decided to keep the price at a $5 ticket level. So $5 to see Kevin Fowler is insane. I don't think nobody's ever done that. And the reason I didn't promote that before the fundraising event they had was because I knew if we posted that, it would probably mess their event up quite a bit and take a lot of people that probably would have gone and said, no, I'll just wait to see him at the festival for $5 and bring my children that are 12 and under free. So that's the big things that we have. We're working on carnival rides for the kids and everything. We try to do bring as many attractions for the children to make it family friendly as possible. We're strong on security, checking people as when they're coming in, metal, the wands and all that, just to for peace of mind, for ourselves and for our patrons that are coming out.
Well, this year it's going to be on Sunday, May 19th from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. So I wanted to make sure we got that in there. So what's the origin? What was the idea? Well, why was this put together for people that may not know, I guess, the culture of San Antonio and why this is so significant?
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, you hit the nail right on the head. So basically, to us, it's a San Antonio tradition, right? I'm not saying everybody, but quite a big chunk of San Antonio. They go to church, they come out of church, and the first thing they do is go find a restaurant to eat some barbacoa and Big Red. I don't know what it is about San Antonio. We love it, and it's a great tasting food dish, and it's kind of I think it's more of a tradition that people you wake up on Sunday and you feel like that's what you need to have for breakfast, whether you go to church or not, right? So the reason why people ask why barbacoa and Big Red, why not barbacoa and Sunkist or Coca-Cola or
Dr.
Pepsi
Pepper
or whatever your drink of choice. It's because Big Red is, as I will say, a little bit sweeter than most drinks, than most flavored sodas, right? And so when you eat a barbacoa taco, you do it right. You're going to put some hot green sauce, salsa, or red, whatever color you prefer. But the point is to try to make it as spicy as possible. And the only drink that we know that can counter that makes like the perfect match made in heaven, is Big Red, right? So we decided to make the Barbacoa and Big Red Festival. And I mean, people go nuts. And we've been putting festivals together for well over 18, 20 years. And this is by far probably the funnest festival and easiest festival to promote, because it promotes itself. Like we just say, hey, there's the entertainment we're bringing. We'll put everything together, which is a lot of, I mean, you're talking about the festival ends. The very next week, we start working on the following year, because it's that much work, like staging, health department, fire department, fencing, power, electrical, porta potties, restrooms, cleaning crews, security, the vendors, the space, you know. I mean, there's just so much, the entertainment, the bands, the equipment that they're going to use on each stage. When you have 4 stages and you just got a piece of land with no electricity, no restrooms, no nothing, and you have to bring everything to the table, it's a lot of work, a lot of money, a lot of time that it takes on our part. So that's why if you see the flyers online, we have a lot of great sponsors that are helping us out, and I could name a few. H-E-B is the presenting sponsor, because they're the ones that came to the table. It makes sense for them because they sell Barbacoa and Big Red in their stores on Sundays. They have a little cart that sell the whole bag with everything ready to go, right? So we have them. We have Thomas J. Henry as a sponsor, T-Mobile as a sponsor, Mission Tortillas. Makes perfect sense for them as well. We have Gomez Law Firm. We have Mike's Hard Lemonade, Miller Lite, I believe, Sol, which is the Mexican beer of the festival, right? So we have an imported and a domestic. We have Camp Gladiator that's going to be out there, you know, promoting, hey, you're going to eat all these tacos now. You got to get to work and putting some workout in, right, to lose some of that weight that you just gained. So, I mean, we have, I could go on forever. If you look at the flight to see, we teamed up with Yelp, with Groupon, to give out packages, so you can search for those online. That's a little hint right there, savings for everybody. I mean, we have a lot of sponsors, and all that kind of helps us offset some of the costs. Not all of it, but a good chunk that really helps us get to where we need to be in order to make this a yearly event and make it happen for the city.
Well, you mentioned that you've been doing festivals for a long time. Just to kind of, I guess, a little bit of a tangent. What's your background in doing this? Why do you like doing this much work? Because it sounds like it's a ton of work, but it's also a lot of fun, right?
Well, I have 2 jobs. I work for H-E-B, right? I'm in charge of the H-E-B Mexico division, supporting them in all their global sourcing needs. So finding products from all over the world, basically getting paid to eat, shop, and travel. And that's my day job. But what I did before, while I was going to school, got my master's in international business and marketing. And what I was doing, I was putting my degree and everything to work. So I started my own company in 2007 called Tonic Enterprises Incorporated, and I go by DJ Tonic, right? So what I did was I would put together a big, huge birthday party called the Tonic Summer Jam that I would do every single year. And you're talking about over 10,000 people renting out La Villita downtown like Nyosa does. And,
wow.
And, you know, with 13 stages going on at once and 150 DJs and 20 live bands. And so me and my partners already had experience on putting festivals together. We did it every single year, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. I did the Burger Fest as well, was another one that we did. But the Barbacoa Big Red Festival is the one that has just like organically outgrown everything that we've done with, yes, it costs a lot more money than all the rest, but it's the easiest one to promote in our eyes, because we could just post Barbacoa Big Red. We love it, and then we'll get like 1 million shares.
That's exactly
I don't know
right.
and then the news loves the outlets, because every time they talk about the festival, it goes viral. So another one of our sponsors is Krispy Kreme. So I learned a lot at my job at HEB, and then from experience and everything. So we did some pretty creative stuff that nobody else has been able to pull off to give the festival something different each year. So last year we teamed up with Krispy Kreme. We put them together with Big Red. Big Red is also sponsored perennial, sparkling water. And we told them, like, hey, we want to create a Krispy Kreme donut that has the flavor of Big Red somehow, the original flavor. So we need the syrup and all that. We need to make sure that the licensing and all that's approved. And we want to sell this donut at the festival and make it exclusive to the festival, that you can't even buy this Krispy Kreme, Big Red Krispy Kreme donut at Krispy Kreme. You could only get it at the festival. So I did a ton of TV interviews on the different news stations on the morning shows, about 5 or 6 different ones, from Univision to KSAT to Ken's to Fox, you name it. And we unveiled the Big Red donut on TV, and people went nuts. And we actually gave them away, but you have to be a winner, to a caller or whatnot, and you got a ton of Big Red tickets to the festival, and you got your dozen Big Red donuts that you couldn't even find at Krispy Kreme. So we did things like that, and giving them away to the first 100 people in line at the festival, and very creative things. And it went nuts. It went viral. I think the donut had a huge, a lot to do with our success last year. So
it sounds like too.
Yeah,
oh God, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're doing it again this year. And this year I challenged the Krispy Kreme team to step it up a notch and give me something different. I don't want the same donut again. I want it to taste like Big Red, but I want it to be like a Big Red donut on steroids, right? So their culinary team is already giving me several different proposals, and they all look great. So they know what they're doing. They're the donut experts, not me. But yeah, so it's going to happen. It's going to be great.
No, that's pretty cool. I was just thinking, just from you talking about your background and the creativity and things, and on the business side, it sounds like a really great match. So maybe this was the result that was going to happen one way or the other, right? Is this you're destined to do?
Yeah. Well, I have my own personal goals, and I told the team I have 3 partners, right? And they all have their expertise, right? One of them is WP from What a Party SA. He taught me a lot about what I know on events. He's a little older than I am, and he's done a great job. Robert Morris, he's the one that actually came up with the idea of throwing the Barbacoa Big Red Festival, because I don't know why. He said, hey, we should do this. And we're like, okay, we'll give it a shot. We're the experts at putting festivals together, so we'll see if it works. And it was a brilliant idea. And he works for Univision, and he's a digital content manager. So he's really good with Facebook, social media, Instagram, Twitter, websites. He did our website. He does all that good stuff. And then Joe Martinez is the other partner, and he was the owner at R&J Music Pavilion. So he was nice enough to let us host the event at his venue for many years, and helped us out a lot to make it what it is today. And so we said, hey, now we're going to a non-licensed venue, meaning they don't have a liquor license, so they can't sell beer. But we could use your license as a catering license. If you're willing to partner up with us, we'll make you a partner, and you come in here and be part of the festival and bring your know-how. And he has all the bartenders and knows how the beer business works better than anybody else. He owns bars, right? So, and then I'm more like the face, I guess, of the festival, the guy that does the interviews and speaks and negotiates deals and all that. So we all have our strengths on what we do, right? But yeah, the festival, also, to talk a little bit more about the festival, if you like, the one thing that's really important to mention is that it's not just the festival and we have the food and that's it and it's over. We have a competition. Right, so there's a prize for the first, second, and third best barbacoa in San Antonio. Basically, they get a trophy. So we put out this a competition and say, hey, everybody, submit your tacos. We have a panel of celebrity judges where they get to try the different barbacoa tacos from all the different vendors, but they have no idea who they're trying them from. And they have a score sheet that they have to grade the tacos on taste, flavor, smell, how moist they are. Is it the meat too dry, too moist, and all the different characteristics that you could describe a taco in, right? And then we have 5 or 6 judges that rate them, and then we gather all those numbers together, compile them, and then we don't even know who the winner is. So we call out the number, the ticket number, and say, hey, ticket number, blah, 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 3rd place, 2nd place, and then the grand champion, 1st place, right? And then they get bragging rights, they get a trophy, they get a lot of free product, gift cards from HEB. So it's a pretty awesome competition, and they get massive media exposure because we would do write-ups and press releases, and then everybody talks about it. And then we added another category because we're always trying to spice it up. So we added the most innovative and distinctive category. So that's where people got creative with their barbacoa dishes. And like the winner last time was an avocado that was breaded, stuffed with barbacoa inside, deep fried. It was like to die for. Amazing.
It sounds like festival food, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we had barbacoa sushi, egg rolls, tamales, burgers, tortas, you name it. I mean, nachos, barbacoa nachos. People were making all kinds of crazy stuff. But that avocado was killer.
Now, are the competitors? I'm sorry. I was going to say, are the competitors part of the vendors, or are they specifically there to compete, and you have separate vendors?
No, they have to be one of the vendors at the festival.
Okay.
And so what they do is they sign up to be a vendor. So I mean, we had over 110 vendors last year, of which about 15 of them were barbacoa. Right. So we hit up every single barbacoa vendor in town and say, hey, we want you there. Come on out. Pretty much all the major restaurants, when Celorio's, Rio's, Pepe's, like the big names that, in town, plus a lot of smaller mom and pop ones that only have one location, they're in there too. So it gives everybody an opportunity. And it's crazy because you'll see a lot of the same vendors that just keep coming back, and new ones come in and come out. And there's a consistency that I've seen on who the winners are most of the time. And this is all up to the judges, not to us. And so that's when they have good food, right? You go to the restaurant, they have 3 or 4 trophies already stacked up where they got either 1st or 2nd place. And it's like, wow, like, it's good stuff. So it helps them because they get a lot of business, because people are San Antonio are fanatics, right? Like they'll go drive an hour to go find the best barbacoa.
Oh yeah,
they have to. Yeah.
Well, in a previous life, I remember participating in barbecue judging in South Carolina, and it's its own culture. It's its own. It's almost its own world. And food in San Antonio is about that. I mean, you can get lost with all the different things and places to go, and it's amazing. It really is cool. Well, we appreciate you being part of this. I mean, the festival is going to be on Sunday, May 19th, again from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Barbacoa Big Red Festival.com, and I think it was, if I remember correctly, was at bbrfest.com for tickets.
That one we make it as easy as possible because tickets are sold at purplepass.com. But instead of you having to go to Purple Pass and then searching for the festival there and all that, if you go to BBR Fest, Barbacoa Big Red Festival, bbrfest.com, it takes you straight to the landing page where you can purchase tickets. And we didn't do VIP this year because I figured we're at a new venue. We got to crawl before we walk kind of thing. And we want to make sure that we do everything right that we have at the festival, because being it's a new venue, we have experience, but there's still little things that could go wrong. And so we focus on having this VIP and all this stuff and drop the ball on the more important major things of the festival, then we're in a bad spot. So this year is a test to see how everything goes, make little tweaks for next year. And next year being the 10th annual, if everything goes well and everybody, is comfortable with going back to Brooks again, my partners, we will be doing a 2-day festival.
Oh, wow.
Year. It'll be the first year, and you're hearing it here first. It'll be the first year that we do a 2-day, I'm talking about, I want to do fireworks at midnight and everything, because my goal is to make this the biggest festival in the city. Out of any festival that we have, I want this to be the biggest, at least the biggest food festival that there is, bigger than any. I don't want to mention any names exactly, but there's other festivals in San Antonio during Fiesta time, maybe at the beginning of Fiesta, that are known, that have been going on for over 100 years. And I think for us going on our 9th edition, not 9th year, 9th edition, because remember, we started in 2012 and we're only in 2019 and we're already hitting 25,000 people in numbers. I think by next year, if not in 2 or 3 more years, we're going to be hitting the 50,000 person mark, right? Once we hit that, then I think we will take that crown and be known as the biggest food festival in San Antonio, if not in South Texas.
Well, I was going to say, even beyond that, I mean, it's going to get to be a destination like Jazz Fest in New Orleans or goodness knows what else. I mean, people are going to be coming from all over the country.
Yeah, we sold tickets in 27 different states last year.
Wow.
And 340 different cities, because we could track it through our Purple Pass to let us know where, our stats on what we did and who bought them from where and all that. And it was crazy when we saw, because we made the news in New York last year, and we started seeing a bunch of people buying tickets in New York. Like, what the hell's going on over there? Why
they need some good food. That's what they need.
Yeah, sure enough. Yeah, people were flying all the way down JFK to SAT, and just to, I guess, go to this festival one day. So that's why I think having the 2-day would be great. It also makes it a lot easier on some of these vendors, because having them leave their restaurant on a Sunday to go set up at the festival, being their busiest day of the week.
Yeah. And
sometimes they're short staffed and whatnot. It's very difficult for them, but they know that if a lot of the ones that we have now, that we do have some small vendors, they know that if they put signs up and come see us at the festival kind of thing, they sell a lot more at the festival than they would at their shop, So one Sunday out of the year won't kill them. But if we do this Saturday and Sunday, I think it'll be insane.
And I guess the one part we didn't talk about, but you have that many people and you're coming to the new venue that you're talking about down at Brooks. I mean, that's going to be a huge economic impact too for the area. People getting to know the area that may not travel down there as much as they could. I know some friends that live in that area, and I mean, I'm sure they're going to be there, and we're planning to be there. We've never attended, by the way, and this year, this is something we got to do. So I appreciate it. And you're doing an amazing job for the city as well as for the people that attend to have a good time. Yeah.
When we go offline, give me your information and I'll mail you guys some tickets so that you guys can come join us.
Oh, that's generous.
And we could do another interview out there, follow up to see if everything's going as planned and all that good stuff. But
that sounds like a plan.
A great deal. But yeah, I've spoken with the president of the Southside Chamber of Commerce, with the board of directors of Brooks, and with Via and everybody's super stoked and excited, because this is probably going to be the biggest thing that's ever happened as far as festival wise to the south side of town. Because south of 90, it's very difficult to get people to come down. And I think with Kevin Fowler, we might see some of the Stone Oakers even coming down.
There you go.
Yeah, because that's our goal. Because we could have gone with a Hispanic artist, but the Hispanic crowd's already there. So how can we broaden our demographic and get more people from San Antonio to come? To make this as diverse as possible. And so we decided to go with the Kevin Fowler route, which I think was a home run. Because now you're seeing a bunch of people that have never been to the festival that are buying tickets, that are wanting to go. And hopefully they're beer drinkers, to help us out there. But it's gonna. I think this year's gonna be amazing. It's gonna set us up really nicely for next year. Next year being a 2-day, then we could do a Hispanic artist one day, and then a country artist on the next day or whatnot. We'll keep on keeping it as diverse as possible. But as of right now, we already have 20 bands playing from rock to 80s to Spanish, cumbias. I mean, you name it, we have it out there.
Yeah, I was looking at the lineup, and it's amazing. I mean, there's all different styles of music. You got a ton of DJs that are going to be out there. I mean, it's going to be something.
Spurs DJ will be out there too. Yeah.
Oh, this is cool. Well, thank you for being part of this. We wanted to make sure that we learned a little bit about it, because that's part of the reason we do the podcast, is just get to know the city. We've only lived here for around 3 years so far. So there's no way to see this city and to really get to know it in that amount of time. And the whole idea is, let's get out there and talk to some great folks, find out some events, talk to people about what they're doing, different organizations. And it's been a whole lot of fun talking to you, Tony. We really appreciate it. And thanks to you and the entire team for putting this on. I mean, this is going to be memorable, I'm sure, and it has been so far.
Yeah. No. Thank you for having us, and looking forward to the next interview. And once you post, I don't know if you post this online or not.
Oh yeah.
If you do, tag us, and we'll definitely share it with everybody.
It'll be going out in April, during April, and we'll have all the links, and I'll put to your website and to all the social media stuff, and anything we've talked about that I can find some links to, I'll include that as well, and including the sponsors. But just to recap for everybody, again, it's Sunday, May 19th, 11 a to 9 p, and you can go to bbrfest.com to get your tickets, Barbacoa Big Red Festival.com to learn everything else. So thanks again, Tony. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys around the Alamo City.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Beyond the Riverwalk. Send your comments, questions, and suggestions to podcast@beyondriverwalk.com. As always, subscriptions to our show are free and available wherever you find podcasts, as well as on our website. Until next week, join us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for more conversations about our community.